Hey, welcome back to another video, folks. My name is Helmet Fire. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, bell notifications so you don't miss out. Today's topic, we're going to be covering Microsoft gaming console, handheld specifically. Good and bad news. Good news is it's real. Bad news is it's going to be a while. Bloomberg did an article. We're going to take a look here and we're going to go through a lot of this because there was a lot of things that Phil Spencer talked about with them, but we're going to try to cover the handheld first if I can. So again, Bloomberg and then all the other outlets are reporting on this. I guess we'll just start off in order here to make it easy. Microsoft's gaming chief is still open to acquisitions even after the Activision deal. Phil Spencer is planning how to enter and partner in the handheld device and mobile store markets. Quick note also, I did see that the Xbox mobile game store was delayed. Not really a surprise there. So, article says after a tough year, Microsoft Core's video game chief is still looking at acquisitions, charting how to compete and partner in the markets for handheld game devices and mobile stores. Deals that add geographic diversity, including Asia, might be worthwhile, Phil Spencer said in an interview Tuesday, Bloomberg offices in New York. Buying another mobile company would add to titles Microsoft picked up in the $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard last year, he said. Quote, we definitely want to be in the market, and when we can find teams and technology and capability that add to what we're trying to do in gaming at Microsoft, absolutely, we will keep our heads up. Spencer said, still, there's nothing imminent, and very large deals are probably off the table at present as the company is spending a lot of time absorbing Activision Blizzard employees. By the way, I do want to address all the pictures and stuff that came out of this article of Phil were not very flattering, so much to the point that many people in the industry were worried about his health. It was later confirmed by other sources that Phil seems to be indeed quite okay. It's just bad lighting, or maybe he didn't hit up his makeup team. But, Phil's also pushing 60. He's in his late 50s. So, I mean, if he looks good on TV, let's give him some grace. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could only imagine the stress of a job like that. But I am glad to hear that he's okay. But yeah, next time let's maybe get some better lighting or something. We were really worried there for a second. So glad Phil's doing okay. Let's see. Says Microsoft wants to diversify teams working on games by looking more to China, he said. The company developed a new mobile version of Age of Empires, a world building franchise that appeared in the 1990s by partnering with Tencent. Quote, it's been a good area for us to learn from creative teams that have really unique capability. The real opportunity is to partner with creative teams in China for global. So, wanting to spread out their portfolio in Asia, everyone can pretty much tell that Xbox and Phil have been doing a lot of work in the Asian markets. There's a lot of Eastern titles that are coming to the platform with Persona and different things like that. There's even rumor of maybe some working with Square Enix. We don't know. I'm just speculating. Phil and team were at Tokyo Game Show talking to all the big publishers, Capcom, Square Enix. I mean, just all of them. And so let's cross our fingers and let's hope we can get some more, of that market to the Xbox ecosystem. I know I would personally appreciate it, and there's a ton of fans that are in the ecosystem that would love that too. So let's see. This says in the executive who admiration. Let's see. In the coming months, designers and engineers will focus on making the Xbox app work better on existing portable devices and partnering with hardware makers to make sure their products sync with Xbox games and experiences. The Xbox app right now is good rather than great on some of these gadgets, he said. So, and then he says here, longer term, I love us building devices. And I think that our team could do some real innovative work, but we want to be informed by learning and what's happening now. So, another note here. So, I personally own an ROG Ally X, and the Xbox, Game Pass app and all that works great on there. And I know that it works great on Steam Deck. I think it's just going to be part of their approach to, like he said here, making sure that it just works on handhelds while they're developing their own. They want to make sure it works everywhere. As y'all have probably heard a million times on the internet, Microsoft and Xbox, their approach seems to be more like they want Xbox to exist everywhere and be accessible from everywhere as much as they possibly can, and they've been making a lot of headway towards that. So, um, going back to the article here, it says the company's planned online store for mobile games has been delayed as the group does additional research on the market. Xbox president Sarah Bond had announced that the store in May with a planned release date of July, but staffers are still talking to mobile developers, including those responsible for Microsoft-owned Candy Crush and Call of Duty Mobile, to try to figure out a plan. As regulatory case involves Apple Inc.'s iOS and the Android mobile, store, work their way through courts in various countries, Microsoft still doesn't have an effective way to get its own store on mobile phones. Quote, so a web store would mean somebody doesn't have to go into the App Store and try to install something, but you still have to have a way to find the store, Spencer said. If we're just hoping, like, if we build it, they will come, I'm going to bet that that doesn't work. So that means they have to work on that with their app. So let's move a little bit forward here. This is this article, you know what? Interesting. This article doesn't talk a whole lot about it. I will say here, though, because I read it in an article earlier and I don't honestly feel like editing it out. So, what they talked about doing was the handheld. They said they are working on it, but they're not planning on it being out for a number of years. And he wasn't very specific with that. All it really means is like the biggest news is we got confirmation definitively, not just hints like before or, really cryptic messages like no from the guy's mouth himself. They are working on it. It's just that they're looking at the markets, seeing what makes sense. They're taking their time with it. They want to cook this thing and they want to cook it correctly. They don't want to rush it out. Remember, the Switch 2 is on the horizon, and everybody knows that the Switch 2 is just going to dominate. So rather than try to rush things out the door, especially when you have competitors like Steam Deck, ROG Ally X, anything from Ioneo, MSI Claw, all these other handheld devices that are out there, and there's so many more up and coming, plus the Switch is still around, and then the Switch 2 is on the horizon. I think this is actually, even though I want the handheld from Xbox like yesterday, this is actually very smart. This is something that if you're going to do it and you're going to try to compete in the hardware market, you want to do it correctly because now, thanks to 6 or 7 years of the Switch pushing companies to bring out handhelds and compete in the market, it's just kind of saturated right now. And I agree that Xbox is smart and not wanting to rush anything and misstep or come in under par or anything like that. I think if we're going to get an Xbox handheld, I know I personally want it to be a really strong competitor in the space and make a name for itself as much as it can. Again, the Switch 2 is on the horizon, and I think that's going to be the focus for the next few years easily. So other than that, that's going to pretty much cover it for today's video. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. I do read them. I want to hear from you what you think so we can have that dialogue and back and forth, build this community up. As always, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, like the video, and then hit the bell notifications so you don't miss out on future content. My name's Helmet Fire. I'm going to get out of here. I hope you have a good one.
Helmet Fire.